And to this day, some chapters of some of those fraternities and sororities still practice a strict paper bag rule organized along the color line. You got black churches right now, you walk in, everybody all chocolate, everybody all caramel, or everybody all light skinned. You got black nationalist organizations. Oh yeah, we're going to keep it all the way 100. We're going to keep it all the way 100 tonight. You got black nationalist organizations who claim to love black people, who claim to be about black power. And when you look at the color of their membership, oh yes, I'ma go there. Oh yes, I'ma go there. There's black nationalist organizations who claim to be about black power and black upliftment, but when you look at the color of their membership, you rarely find chocolate Africans in this so-called progressive black organization. Oh yes. You got black nationalist leaders who are light-skinned supremacists. Oh yes. Oh yes. And we can talk about light-skinned supremacists and dark-skinned supremacists, but guess what? We even got hair texture supremacy in the African race. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. We got hair texture bias in the black community. So a sister might be light-skinned, but if she got that Dr. Umar grade, if she got that Ifa Tunde Ninja Bush grade, she might still not be allowed in the social group because your skin is light, but your hair is too curly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And depending on the bougie ass social group you belong to, depending on the bougie ass black nationalist organization you belong to, depending on the bougie ass fraternity or sorority chapter you belong to, you might get in being dark skinned with straight hair before you get in being light skinned with nappy hair. I said you might get in being dark skinned with straight hair before you get in for being light skinned with nappy hair. And you know what's sad about all this? And do you know what's sad about all this? We have Neanderthals invading the feed. This is a conversation amongst Africans. If you are not a member of the African race, snow bunnies, I'm going to respectfully ask you to disengage from the chat. This is not a conversation that you need to be a part of. Bunnies, be out. Bunnies, be out. Neanderthal ice-dwelling cavemen. This is not a chat for you. I'm going to respectfully ask that you exit left as well. Anyone on here who does not consider themselves African, including black people, my pretendian community, this is not for you because you don't consider yourself one of us. You are a pretendian. You can exit left. You can exit left. All I'm not from Africa Negroes, please get off the chat. This is not for you. Now, somebody mentioned Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. Somebody mentioned Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, and it is true. He was a light-skinned supremacist. And I believe one of the reasons Du Bois hated Garvey so much is because Garvey, as a chocolate Jamaican-born African, was able to wrestle away from Du Bois the throne of American African leadership, even though he had Dr. Umar grade hair and chocolate skin. And W.E.B. Du Bois felt because he was closer to the European standard of beauty, he had a right to lead black people. And speaking of black leadership, can we be honest for a minute? Whether we're talking secular black leadership or whether we're talking religious black leadership, whether we're talking secular black leadership or whether we're talking religious black leadership, let us be honest. 85% of all popular black leaders in American history, 85% of all popular black leaders in American history could pass the brown paper bag test. Elijah Muhammad could pass the brown paper bag test. Minister Farrakhan could pass the brown paper bag test. Dr. King could pass the brown paper bag test. Malcolm could pass the brown paper bag test. Huey P. Newton could pass the brown paper bag test. The Honorable Frederick Douglass could pass the brown paper bag test. The only major leader, the only one of a mass movement who did not pass that brown paper bag test was His Excellency. His Excellency, the prophet and king of Pan-Africanism, the most honorable Marcus Garvey. Every other major leader we had, even now. Who's the president of the NAACP? Who's the president of the Urban League? Look at Al Sharpton. Look at Jesse Jackson. I'm not knocking them for their color, brothers. We all family. I'm simply saying that black people, we also practice light skin supremacy when it comes to leadership. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Look at the wives of most of our scholars. Look at the girlfriends of most of our scholars. Look at the queens of most of the young men in the conscious community. Look at them. Look at the women they are with. I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking their women. But 90% of all so-called black conscious men are with a light-skinned sister. Are you telling me there's no dark-skinned queens around? Are you telling me it's a pure coincidence? It's a pure coincidence that 90% of your woke YouTubians, 90% of your major black leaders, 90% of your pastors are all light-skinned and their spouses are light-skinned, and you want Dr. Umar to believe this is a pure coincidence? Get your ass up out of here. Get your ass up out of here. I did not create light-skin, dark-skin supremacy, but I will expose it. And let me say this. Let me say this. As we work towards the grand opening of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Let me say this as we work towards the grand opening of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Frederick Douglass was light. Marcus Garvey was dark. Frederick Douglass was light. Marcus Garvey was dark. Frederick Douglass was light. Marcus Garvey was dark. My point is If you plan on attending the grand opening of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, if you plan on being a volunteer, if you plan on being an employee, if you plan on coming to the Conscious Singles Convention, if you plan on coming to the Black Women's Convention, if you plan on coming to the Black Men's Convention, the Black Youth Convention, the Pan-African Conferences, the Ex-Offender Seminars, the Black Farmers Seminars, Black Investment Seminars, you better never break your breath. You better never let me find out you made a joke about a light-skinned African, a dark-skinned African, or a mixed race African. I will not tolerate it. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is a safe space for all Africans. I don't care how light the skin. I don't care how light the eyes. I don't care how dark the skin. I don't care how dark the eyes. I don't care how broad the nose, how broad the lips, or how nappy the hair. When you step foot on that campus, you are stepping foot in a true Pan-Africanist community. And if you disobey the rules of heaven on earth, if you violate a single person on my campus because of hair texture or skin color, dark or light, your ass will be in the book of Negroes. And guess what? The book of Negroes doesn't discriminate based on skin color. We got all kind of ninjas in the book of Negroes. We got light-skinned Negroes in the book of Negroes. We got dark-skinned ninjas. We got mixed race ninjas. And speaking of mixed race, because that's the ultimate when you deal with colorism, I want all mixed race Africans to know I accept you as one of us as long as you identify full-time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 31 days a month, 365 days a year as an African. There is no difference